at 5, drugs coming in from out of state are a new problem the city of Glasgow is facing. Now more resources may go toward fighting the issue.
Ohio is going to make America great again.
Voting is underway in what's being called Super Tuesday number 3. And it's make it or break it time for Senator Marco Rubio and also Governor John Kasich.
And there could be a possible showdown today in the state capitol as Kentucky Republicans and Democrats unveil their budget proposals. WBKO 5 starts now.
From your hometown news leader, this is WBKO at 5, live in HD.
3 people are shot after a gunman opens fire outside of the McDonald's in Russellville. Hello, everyone. I'm Jake Boswell.
And I'm Lauren Hansen. Our Whitney Davis is live in Russellville with tonight's top story at 5.
Jake and Lauren, what a day it has been here in Russellville. Kentucky State Police tell me that the first shot today was fired at the McDonald's, and that is over here behind me, and that is where a man fired at a woman they believe he was somehow involved with. After shooting her, he then fled on foot until he was stopped by Russellville PD close to the Superwash and close to where they ultimately shot and killed him. KSP says because the incidents are spread out near North Main Street, this investigation could take a while. Now that's because in addition to the other 2 businesses, a third person was hit by what they believe to be a stray bullet that was at the Russellville donut shop, one of the workers there. KSP says at this point, they don't know if that was from police fire or from the gunman himself. The worker was taken to TriStar Skyline Medical Center in Nashville, and the initial female victim at McDonald's was taken to the medical center at Bowling Green, both to be treated for their injuries, and no officers were injured in this case. Now, this investigation is ongoing and is being led by Kentucky State Police, and coming up tonight on WBKO at 6, we hope to give you some sound bites from someone who witnessed part of the shooting here in Russellville today. But for now, we're going to send it back to you guys. Reporting live in Russellville, Whitney Davis, WBKO.
All right, thank you so much. And just to recap, Whitney has been there for the last few hours, and she says, and what Kentucky State Police have told us, is that there was a shooting at the McDonald's where Whitney was. A man shot a female. That female then wrecked her car or drove her car just a short distance, was taken to the medical center here in Bowling Green. That male then ran to North Main Street where he met Russellville police officers, and that's where a shooting took place with Russellville police officers and also this man that we still do not have his identity of right now.
That's right. They're not releasing names as of right now. As you could see, there were still police cars out there, still officers out there, so obviously still an active scene there in Russellville, and it happened around lunchtime as well.
So a busy time for that area, and also another big part of that, at this point, we don't know who shot the bullet that ended up hitting the worker at the Russellville donut shop. So just imagine being at work and all of a sudden a shootout takes place and not only hits you, but seriously hits you. Obviously, a lot of people have to be praying for their families right now, but we just don't know their names. Whitney's still on the scene, as you've seen. She'll be there later on tonight on WBKO at 6, and we're going to continue to follow the story, I'm sure, throughout the entire evening. Yes,
we'll bring you the latest developments as they become available from Kentucky State Police and from Whitney, who's out there. An arrest warrant in Cave City ends with a man behind bars for a separate offense. A Cave City police officer was driving on Broadway Street last night when he saw a man who had a warrant out for his arrest. The officer pulled over the vehicle driven by 28-year-old James Locke at the Minute Mart. After the warrant was confirmed, Locke was placed under arrest. Police found 8 baggies with a powdery white residue and a set of scales inside Locke's car. The residue tested positive for methamphetamine. Locke was then charged with possession of a controlled substance and drug paraphernalia, in addition to the warrant charge. He's now in the Barron County Jail. A Glasgow police officer is suspended for going to work with alcohol in his system, which was consumed while he was off duty the night before. The Glasgow Police Department says Officer Brandon Fletcher was tested and was below the legal limit for DUI, but did have alcohol in his system. After an investigation, Officer Fletcher was suspended without pay for 40 hours, which began on Sunday, for violating the city's drug and alcohol policy. He was not charged with traffic or criminal offenses.
Well, the Glasgow Police Department is also one step closer to joining the drug task force in both Barron and Allen counties. A unanimous vote last night by the Glasgow City Council echoed the sentiment from Glasgow Police Chief Guy Howie that the group needs to once again join the Barron River Drug Task Force. Now the Kentucky Department for Local Government will be asked to sign the agreement that's hopefully going to provide more resources to get drugs out of Barron County.
With that group working together, we can keep a tab on what the other agencies are seeing, so that we know how we can best use our resources to fight the different drugs that are coming into the community.
The Barron River Drug Task Force expects a Glasgow police detective to join them in 4 to 6 weeks if everything continues to go as planned. At 6, hear why drugs coming from out of state are another reason the fight against drugs in our area are getting so much harder. A Glasgow firefighter comes to a settlement with the city after being fired in May 2012 for testing positive during a drug test. Roger Hampton was fired by the city council in 2012, and last night that same group agreed to a settlement that pays Hampton more than $275,000. The agreement includes back pay and retirement benefits Hampton would have received during the time he was let go. Hampton says he was prescribed the Valium that showed up in his drug test, and as part of the agreement, neither Hampton nor the city of Glasgow are publicly commenting.
Funtown Mountain will be up for auction next month. In January, a judge ruled South Central Bank and the Kentucky Tourism Development Finance Authority could sell their portions of the property. Both the bank and the Finance Authority have liens against Funtown Mountain. According to the Barron County Master Commissioner's website, the auction will take place on site on April 20th by Edward Journal. The time of the auction has not been announced.
What an incredibly warm and terrific Tuesday this has been. And we mentioned coming into this day, the record high being 85 degrees. Lo and behold, look what happened in Bowling Green this afternoon. We tied that record, officially making 85 out of the airport. That ties the all-time high for the state set way back in 1921, and it was our warmest temperature since October 8th last year. What an incredibly warm afternoon across the region, with 80s as far north as Evansville and Louisville. 78 in Lexington. Nashville at 86, a record high there as well. 86 also down in Jackson, Tennessee. A day more typical of the end of May rather than one in mid-March. Here's Doppler Max HD. It's a clean sweep across the area. It will stay that way through the evening. There's a frontal system heading our way late tonight that may produce a shower or thunderstorm. We'll track that next weather maker, and we'll talk about some cooler temperatures showing up in the 7-day. That is straight ahead. Lauren?
Thanks, Shane. House Republicans proposed a 2-year spending plan that restores some of the budget cuts proposed by Governor Matt Bevin. Bevin wants to cut government spending by $650 million and use the money to begin paying down the state's multi-billion-dollar public pension debt. The top House Republican said this was a team effort.
Every member of the House Republican caucus in some way or another had some input on this budget. Whether it's coal severance, whether it's primary and secondary education, whether it's post-secondary, on and on and on. Every member of this caucus had some involvement in it.
The Republicans' plan does not change Bevin's budget cuts to state colleges and universities, although it let the colleges make changes in their budgets to help offset the cuts. The State Board of Elections has certified the results of last week's 4 special Kentucky House elections that solidified Democratic control of the chamber. 4 new lawmakers were sworn in Tuesday in Frankfort just hours after the results were certified. Democrats won 3 of 4 special House elections last Tuesday. The victories give Democrats a 53-47 majority over the Republicans. The new lawmakers take office at an important time as the House prepares for crucial votes on the state budget.
Well, Kentuckians can now register to vote just by going online. You can register or update your registration by using the state's online voter registration portal at govoteky.com. All you have to do is enter your name, social security number, and birth date as required by law. Users must also provide a signature digitally or via their driver's license. That info is then sent to your county clerk's office, which will process or renew it. Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes says the system was developed at no additional cost to taxpayers. Well, it's another Super Tuesday, and for a couple of presidential hopefuls, it's more like Survival Tuesday. Voters in Missouri, Illinois, North Carolina, Ohio, and Florida weighing in on the presidential race today. Karen Kafa has the latest.
691 delegates on the line for the Democrats, 358 for the Republicans, plus one big goal for 3 candidates: block Donald Trump.
If Donald Trump is the nominee, Hillary wins.
Two winner-take-all contests will either give a much-needed boost or deal a big blow to two home state candidates. John Kasich voted in Ohio this morning.
You cast a vote for yourself for President of the United States. It's pretty remarkable.
And last night, Marco Rubio came home to West Miami ahead of the biggest vote of his political career.
I have had the chance over the last 11 months to travel the entire country, to campaign in so many different places, to meet so many different people.
Trump apparently felt more confident about Rubio's home turf than Kasich's. A planned Monday night rally in South Florida was moved to Ohio, where Trump hit the governor on trade.
When he was a congressman, he signed NAFTA. NAFTA destroyed Ohio.
Trade also factoring into Democratic contests in the Midwest. Bernie Sanders hopes his economic message resonates like it did in Michigan last week.
I think that if there's a large voter turnout, we're going to do just great here in Illinois, Missouri, and Ohio.
Hillary Clinton appears to have more of an edge here in Florida and in North Carolina.
There's so much at stake in this election, and I hope everybody in North Carolina votes before the polls close.
But losses up north could further delay her pivot toward a general election fight. In Miami, I'm Karen Kafa.
Now, Clinton is trying to keep rival Bernie Sanders from building new momentum in the Midwest. Sanders already has his sights set on the next contest. Tonight, he's rallying in Arizona, which votes next week.
A former Bowling Green teacher is inducted into the 2016 class of the Kentucky Teacher Hall of Fame in Frankfort. Angela Alexander Townsend is a native of Bowling Green and began teaching at Bowling Green High in 1966. She also taught at Bowling Green Junior High, Bowling Green Senior High, Warren Central High, and at Greenwood High before retiring in 2009. Townsend's awards include being named a Kentucky Distinguished Educator and being named a Kentucky Colonel. The Kentucky Teacher Hall of Fame is housed at Western Kentucky University. Still to come at 5, 3 Chicago police officers have been shot during an investigation. Officials say their injuries are not life-threatening. That story's in 2 minutes.
But first, before we go to break, we want to ask you on WBKO.com the question that's being asked all across the Commonwealth. Do you think UK will win the national men's basketball title this year? You can vote by using the WBKO app on your phone. Then we'll show the results tonight at 10.
You're watching WBKO at 5, live in HD.
The Chicago Police Department says 3 officers were wounded during a shootout, but all of them now are doing well. It happened overnight in a West Side neighborhood in Chicago, and the officers had observed a man and a woman acting suspiciously, and they decided to investigate.
They observed a male and female going through the courtyard that they had under investigation. They stopped to talk to these individuals as part of a field investigation or field interview. The officers announced their office. At that point, the male subject produced a handgun and immediately began firing at the officers.
A suspect was killed by an officer returning gunfire. A spokesman says the woman was interviewed but not charged. Well, 3 brothers are in custody in connection with the shooting death of a Maryland police officer. Prince George's County police officer Ja'Kai Colson was killed in a shootout Sunday at a police station. Authorities are calling what happened an unprovoked attack. Police say 22-year-old Michael Ford was the suspect who opened fire on the station, while his brothers, 21-year-old Malik Ford and 18-year-old Elijah Ford, recorded it all on their cell phones.
He was presented with a situation he didn't ask for, and he reacted. He reacted to protect his fellow police officers and the community. And while doing so, we have individuals videotaping it as if it's a game, as if it's something that we're going to put on YouTube and glorify.
Now, authorities in South Carolina say Michael Ford is wanted there on a misdemeanor domestic violence charge. Prince George's County police say Michael Ford was wounded in that shootout. He's now in stable condition at an area hospital.
Lawmakers are looking into who should be held accountable for the water crisis that sickened Flint residents, exposing thousands of children to toxic lead. And after Flint switched its main water source in 2014 to save money, lead from aging pipes leached into homes because the water was not properly treated. A state of emergency was declared in the city nearly 2 years later, as Michigan Governor Rick Snyder faces calls to resign and a recall effort. He'll voluntarily testify before the committee on Thursday. The founder of Gawker Media is on the stand for a second day in the Hulk Hogan sex video trial. Former pro wrestler Hulk Hogan is suing the website Gawker for $100 million for posting a video of Hogan having sex with his then best friend's wife. Hogan said he did not know he was being filmed at the time of the encounter. He maintains it was an invasion of his privacy, but Nick Denton testified that the public's right to know trumps the celebrity's privacy.
It's not, is it true, is it interesting, and comma, does it invade somebody's privacy?
No, it's, is it true, is it interesting, and check with legal.
Oh, check with legal's part of it?
That's the usual practice, yes.
The judge has ruled that Hogan's then best friend, Bubba the Love Sponge Clem, does not have to testify in front of the jury, but he will face questions in front of her. Gawker calls Clem's testimony crucial. The website has argued that Hogan made his sex life a public matter, and its 1 minute 41-second video post was protected by the First Amendment.
Well, the Los Angeles Police Department is still investigating that knife reportedly found on the former estate of O.J. Simpson. The police announced earlier this month that the knife was found on Simpson's former estate in Brentwood. The former footballer lived there at the same time his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman were stabbed to death outside of her condo in 1994. The murder weapon in that case was never found. Police have not connected that knife to those particular murders, but detectives on the case say the forensics on the knife have still not been completed.
I guess the only thing that may be taking away some of the enjoyment out of the beautiful weather would be the high tree pollen count. It's bordering on extreme right now. A lot of breezy conditions to stir that around too. The UV index also running high this afternoon. With a higher sun angle, you've got to protect yourself from that if you're out for any length of time. We'll talk about some cooler temperatures in the forecast right after this.
Your local stocks of interest. Brought to you by Jason Claycomb of Raymond James Financial Services, your retirement resource. Follow us on Facebook. First Alert Weather is brought to you by the Medical Center.
I assure you, this is not a temperature scene that we dug out from early June last year. This is today's. And look how incredibly warm it is over the region this afternoon. Many readings in the low to middle 80s, including Bowling Green at a record-tying 85 degrees, matching the old mark set way back in 1921 for this day. Nashville has broken a record at 86. Record temperatures for Evansville at 81. Same for Paducah. 86 right now in Jackson, Tennessee. And these readings are about 25 degrees above normal for a mid-March day. Just incredible. And while temperatures will stay above average heading into midweek, we are going to see readings slip a little bit for Wednesday, and that's because a weak cold front will come through during the wee hours tomorrow morning. Will spread some cloudiness back in here along with a slight chance for a shower or thunder shower, but any rain from that system will be long gone by the time you get up and rolling tomorrow morning. Otherwise, we're mainly dry through the rest of this week. We will be trending cooler by late week as yet another front slides through here Thursday morning, but that will be nothing compared to the chill settling in here for this, the first weekend of spring, believe it or not. We're talking about high temperatures running about 10 degrees below average heading into Saturday and Sunday, along with a shot for a little bit of rain to boot. Here's a live view of AAA Systems webcam. Gorgeous blue skies, lots of sunshine, lots of traffic too along Scottsville Road. Folks may be heading home to get out and enjoy this weather. What a beautiful evening it is. 82 degrees at the Mesonet site. South wind in here, kind of breezy at 13. We've had those gusts over 20 on occasion today with humidity bone dry at 39%. Look at the beautiful sunshine glistening the lake there at Dale Hollow. 84 degrees over at Trooper Island. Sunshine too in Litchfield, a warm 81 for you. And down the road in Russellville, sunshine and a balmy 85 degrees. High pressure in control today. We are tracking that next front, and it's up here in the upper Midwest right now with some showers and thunderstorms heading through Iowa, up into Minnesota, portions of Wisconsin getting wet, rain hitting toward Green Bay right now. All this spinning around in two areas of low pressure. This storm system moving toward the Great Lakes will slip a cold front through here late tonight, but with it, the best storm threat and the best chance for severe weather will be well to our north, over north and central parts of Illinois into Indiana, around Chicago down toward Indianapolis. That's where the best threat where storms with hail and gusty winds will be tonight. A couple of thunderstorms are possible, though, for the lower Ohio and Tennessee Valley region with just enough moisture and energy with this system moving through overnight. So let's put Feature Max into motion. Dry this evening. The shot for rain, it's a small one, does not get here until very late tonight into the wee hours of tomorrow morning. Behind this system, we're still warm tomorrow, climbing to near 70, just not as warm as today. But it will be nice again with lots of sunshine, kind of a breezy west to southwest wind tomorrow. And then here comes system number 2 for the wee hours of Thursday morning. Clouds with that. Not much rain, though, and temperatures coming down into the 60s for Thursday. That cooling trend will last into the upcoming weekend. So 53 for a mild low tonight, becoming partly cloudy. A thunder shower chance around or just after midnight, but that rain is gone by tomorrow morning, replaced by sunshine. Not as warm, but still nice with a high of 70, but cooler temperatures for the remainder of the week. 66 on St. Patty's Day Thursday, slight chance for a morning shower there. Dry and cooler Friday, and then chilly for the weekend. Only the low to middle 50s as we start spring with a shower chance late Saturday into Sunday morning. Temperatures do recover, though, for highs getting into the mid 60s again by next Tuesday. We're back with more news after this.
We have some breaking news that just came into the newsroom regarding the shooting in Russellville earlier this afternoon. KSP says Joseph Harris, 34 of Lewisburg, shot his former girlfriend Amanda Harper, 28 of Russellville, while she was waiting in the drive-thru of the McDonald's. Now, she drove across the street and suffered a gunshot wound to her upper body. She was taken to the medical center. She is listed in a stable condition.
Yeah, and right now we have also learned what happened after that happened. Harris then walked onto North Main Street where he encountered some police officers, Sergeant Morris Kisselbaugh, Officer Stephen Meredith, and Seth Whitaker. Police are saying that Harris brandished a firearm, pulled a gun, and all 3 of those officers fired back. Harris was hit and pronounced dead at the scene. We also know that Vanna Crane of Russellville was the person working inside of the Russellville donut shop when where Harris was shot. Crane was struck once in the neck by a bullet. She's been flown to TriStar Medical Center, so it's something we're continuing to follow up on and hoping to get more details as things progress this evening.
For now, we'll be right back.